Hey, it's Triple H Guy 2004. I'm responding here to Billy fucking Paz. That's right. And how I got into pro wrestling. Of course, you pretty much know my dad got me into pro wrestling. But, I remember, sitting back in the day, we used to come home from church. We used to watch the Saturday, or Sunday, whatever the hell it was, Superstars, whatever the hell it was on. Whatever WWF was, we got it. Whatever stations we got. Of course, I told you this before, when it used to go over my Nana's, and I used to watch like WCW Saturday night. Sometimes I would stay up really late, and she'd let me stay up, and I'd watch whatever WWF was producing at that time, late night, Saturday night, whatever. Whenever I was over there, I would watch, wrestling. She'd let me stay up when my grandfather was asleep, when he didn't have the TV. And then, then my dad got me into it, of course. I used to watch Hulk Hogan, stars, you know the guys back then. I don't really have to go through the long albatross of a list of people, I've been watching wrestling pretty much since I was 3 years old. Pretty much, I would say probably 3 years old. Around the time that I met my best friend Sean, we would watch it, and sometimes we'd watch it down at his place. I'd watch it all over, wherever. I had plenty of, my brother used to watch it, my sister used to watch it. Like I said, they've gotten out of it. But, of course, my guys are Stone Cold Steve Austin, from Mick Foley. I love all the Attitude Era guys. I remember used to watching it when I was in this, I used to be in a psych hospital when I was younger. And, that was one of my privileges. I got to stay up at this place, and I got to watch wrestling. And I was, only one of a handful of kids that got to do that. And, the other kids that were able to do it actually liked the wrestling, so it was kind of cool. I followed this one kid around from a couple different places. His name was Brian. I used to watch it with him. We used to fight over who we liked. We used to get in, really drag out friggin', yelling matches at each other, who we liked and who we didn't. He wouldn't like somebody, and I wouldn't like his guy. I would like somebody, he wouldn't like him, that kind of thing. And then I went to this other place, and I had this really cool kid. He was a little kid. I can't remember his name. He was this little kid that I, liked wrestling, and he had, all these wrestling figures, and I had some wrestling figures, and we pretended we were the New Age Outlaws, and I was the Road Dogg, and he was Billy Gunn, or I'd be Billy Gunn, and he'd be the Road Dogg, one or the other, I think his name was Bobby, or something like that. But then, I came home from those places, went to high school. And then in high school, I met this guy that, lo and behold, the guy that was my teacher's assistant, he was a pro wrestler. He wrestled, anywhere from, at this point, probably when I met him, he had wrestled, around here with WFA. I know later on he wrestled a couple matches for Ring of Honor. He left the place for a while and he came back. And he's been one of my good friends ever since. That was probably around 99. He loved Triple H. I loved Triple H. He's like, that guy's from New Hampshire. I'm like, no way. I think he told me. I think that's how I found out Triple H was from New Hampshire. And that just, bonded our friendship even more. We both liked him. I remember we went to Best Buy the day Triple H's The Game DVD came out. We both bought it back in the day when that came out. And I remember that was later on. And when that DVD came out, it was one of the last ones that they really produced with the WWF logos on it. So that was a pretty cool one. I've gone to so many events with my dad. I mean, just the old rat-infested Boston Garden. I've said these in other videos, but pretty much, we've been going to it since I was 3. So I was born in, so probably since 1987 at least. Early 87, 88, that's, skyrocketed my love of professional wrestling. WWF, WCW, whatever I could get my hands on, I would. I used to buy videotapes. I remember used to, scrounging up enough money around the house to go up to this video store up in Belmont, which is 20 minutes from my house, or they didn't really have them in Loudon. Sometimes they'd have them in Loudon, but they mainly had them up in Belmont, and we would get like WCW tapes. I used to get like the Slamborees. I'd like the one I really did like getting every year was the one that they did at Sturgis. I can't remember the name of it. Hog Wild, I think it was called, in Sturgis, South Dakota, and they would do it at the bike rally. I used to watch everything, no matter what it was. If it was professional wrestling, it was on, I was watching it. What do you want to add in, Dad?
Well, when I get into how I get into professional wrestling was my brother, and he started watching. He said, "Hey, we come home after church one Sunday, and he says, hey, you want to watch a show with me?" I said, "Oh yeah, what is it?" I was about 6 at the time. He says, "Well, it's wrestling." I said, "Well, yeah, I guess I will." So I watched it, and after that, we watched it every week. We'd used to wrestle around on the floor and stuff. And I remember when I was like 18 and 19, seeing when they used to come to Concord, Concord, New Hampshire, to the Everett Arena, and I saw Chief Jay Strongbow.
Yeah, we've gone over this in other videos. Yeah. You can go back in our videos. We haven't made many videos together, so it's kind of easy.
Yeah.
Just go back, and we've been talking about this, and we love professional wrestling. He's loved it. I've loved it. We just carry it on, and we'll probably watch it till the day we both die. So.
Yeah, we probably will. Yep.
So I love it. He loves it. We went to WrestleMania this year. Of course, everybody knows that. That was a bomb.
Yes, it was.
We've already expressed our thoughts on that, but most of this stuff we already talked about, so I just wanted to make a little video, and we're already up to 7 minutes already. So I'm just going to cut it off. What did you want to say, Dad?
If you guys really want to watch some old WWF matches, they're on demand on Comcast under the wrestling.
Yeah, I remember getting these. I remember one thing I don't think I've expressed this, but I remember Dad used to get these videotapes from this guy he used to work at the prison with, and or he'd get videotapes somewhere. I don't remember. I just used to find them all the time. Sometimes I'd find it and I'd pop it in the VHS. And I remember this one. I don't remember what it was. It was just like a combination. I don't think it was any particular company making it. It was just like a combination of like. I remember Bobo Brazil was on it. Abdullah the Butcher. I mean, there was all sorts of matches from different. I don't really remember who produced it. But then I remember Dad had these old WWF Coliseum home video type things, hosted by Mean Gene. And I remember one was, I saw for the first time Tito Santana on this, tagging up with the Rick Martel as Strike Force. And the Jumpin' Bomb Angels. Who else? Heart Foundation, all those tag teams. And I just remember, and the first time I saw one of the first WrestleManias, I remember seeing the WrestleManias bits and pieces on, TV and stuff. And I remember seeing bits and pieces of VHS of different matches from them on, like, combination VHS. They used to do that, like, Coliseum home video, And I just used to remember watching those. Maybe I did watch all the WrestleManias up to that point. I don't really remember that far back, but, I'm sure I have seen all of them at some point. But I do remember seeing, like, WrestleMania 9. I saw it, like, the day after it happened. Most of the time, if I saw WrestleMania, it was like a couple months after it happened. But I remember Dad had this guy that he worked with at the prison, and he taped it the night before, and he brought it to him the next morning. My dad was working like 7 to 3, so it was perfect. For some reason, he was working 7 to 3 one day. That happened to be one of your shifts one day, I think.
Overtime or something.
And yeah, something. 7 to 3, but it was perfect, because he had the tape when I got home from school. So I watched it like that next day. It was pretty cool, It was like the first time that I had saw it like right after it happened, It's pretty much like seeing it live, but not really, You know, but whatever. That's how we love professional wrestling. I'll see you guys later. This Triple H Guy 2004. This is
Torino GT
Guy
1969.
There we go. Peace!
Or on Twitter, it would be Royal Page
2. Royal Page 2 on Twitter. See you guys later. Billy Paz, this one goes out to you, buddy. Peace.